guys? Welcome back to Tango's TikToks. Let's see what my favorites have got saved for me today. Let's go.
So that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
That looks like an inauguration.
You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion. And in return, the per capita income of each of you here tonight has grown, in this year alone, by an average 39%. And I've just received word that our forces have won a major victory. The underground terrorist network has been destroyed here on the West Coast. We are off crisis alert. The situation is normal again.
That is definitely
how you doing, boys?
So that by the year 20...
Proof that they've been hiding this all along.
There are no such thing as other planets. Space is not real, and it's a myth to take you away from God. The so-called planets are actually just fallen angels that were worshipped by Romans and Greeks. Each one of them is a false god. This is why they had us building solar system projects in school. Right, we were giving honor to and subconsciously worshipping false gods. So we know in Genesis 1, God created the stars and He placed them in the firmament, right? These stars, they rotate around in a circular fashion, day and night, serving God, right? Because the stars are the angels. According to Revelation 1:20, stars are the angels. So in book of Ezekiel, God tells us what the cherubims look like, which is a type of angel. And as for their appearances, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. So stars or angels, they look like wheel inside of a wheel, which is exactly what stars look like when we zoom in on telescopes. Now here's a shot taken of Mars, right? It's the same thing, it's a wheel inside of a wheel. But we know these stars are not following that same circular track that God has set for the rest of the angels. It's because the Bible calls them wandering stars. They're part of the 1/3 that fell from heaven, right, with Satan. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, or the angels of heaven, and did cast them to earth. Right, in Jude 1 verse 13, raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame. Whose shame? Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Right, why are these stars or these angels shameful? Because they disobeyed God. Listen, we are the center of God's creation. There is no other planets. The sun, moon, and stars are all within the firmament. God bless you.
Tell me what you guys think of that one then. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Guys, I'm an 80s kid and we were told nearly every day that we were all going to get scorched to death because us bad humans were making a hole in the ozone layer, spraying all of our deodorants and all those kind of things into the atmosphere. And
nothing's changed.
Yeah, I'm still around, and so are many other people from that era. And the same thing's going on again here. You know, we're being told that the ice caps are melting. They're indoctrinating children to tell them that we're all gonna die and go underwater if we don't sort things out and, you know, pay higher taxes and live in 15-minute cities and have social credit scores to protect the climate. And yet here we see the same exact sea level, 1898, 2022. It's a crock of crap.
You ever been down the Paramount rabbit hole? Yeah, watch these 22 stars go and hover over the waters and then congregate over the Paramount. Para means what? Means breath. Breath means what?
Does it?
Well, breath means spirit, and it hovered over the waters in Genesis. So we have, count them, 22 stars, Paramount, Paranormal Mountain. What could be the Paranormal Mountain? Well, I'll tell you what, it's Mount Hermon. What's crazy is in the book of Enoch, 200 angels fell on Mount Hermon and congregated, and there was 22 leaders that were named. Enoch chapter 6, and you can pause and read, but 200 angels, 22 of those were named, and these are all the angels that fell down and congregated at Mount Hermon to talk about how they were going to basically take over the world with unrighteousness. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'll give you the opportunity to pause and read all of this, because in Enoch chapter 6 through 10, there's some interesting things that I personally feel like speak to what's going on right now. And when it comes to stars, Revelation 9 talks about a star fell from heaven and he was given the key to the bottomless pit. And Revelation 9:11 talks about Apollyon. Mount Hermon means the mountain of the chief. What chief? Could it be that chief star that looked like lightning falling from heaven? Hey, Yeshua saw it. It's so funny that stars, falling stars, are referred to as angels and angels referred to as stars. And you got this paramount with 22 of these named stars, and the name Hermon meaning devoted to destruction. And in German, it means soldier. So this is the mountain of the chief, where 22 soldiers met to talk about destruction. And it's so weird that celebrities are called stars. And there's the Hollywood Walk of Fame with all of these stars that are named. I'm wondering if these fallen angels have inhabited bodies and taken over to bring more destruction to the earth. Because it seems that Hollywood and the music industry, they all promote unrighteousness and ungodliness. And it's like they're trying to spread it across the world. And if this paramount is paying homage to this situation that happened in the book of Enoch, well, then that would have to mean that they know exactly what they are doing, and they're doing it on purpose. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because every 22 of these leader angels that are named, their names have meanings. They lead the 200 fallen angels that bring unrighteousness to the world, all the evil, the freaking magic, and all this crazy stuff that's going on. Superb owl rituals and all this creepy Masonic ritual. Oh, did you know that Mount Hermon is actually on the 33-degree north longitude? 33. Oh, and 1/3 of the angels fell with Lucifer, and 1/3 out of 100% just so happens to be 33.33%. This is just to get you started. Start going down this rabbit hole. Find out for yourself. Look, they know what they're doing. They're paying homage to these fallen angels because, hey, they might just be the fallen angels. So next time you see a falling star, don't wish upon it. You ever been down the paramount?
I mean, about what he says, I'm probably going to have to look into it. But as for stars, as in actors and musicians and all that, I like their music, and I like the movies, but I was never like, oh, I want to be like Bruce Lee, or I want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I want to be like this guy or that guy. But yes, but on the other hand, I do believe that they were programming us. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch video after video, as in VHS tapes after VHS tape of movie after movie after movie, because I had no one taking care of me. My parents were the TV, so everything I'd done in life since then was an imitation of what I'd watched. All my pickup lines, the way I spoke to people, the way I talked to people, it was all an imitation of what I watched in movies.
Creep on in, on in, on in.
I don't get it. Future North America. Is that supposed to be Europe? What's that supposed to be? I don't know. Sorry, that doesn't make no sense to me. Let's see what it says here. Hidden in plain sight. Okay, yeah, fine. What about it? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Conspiracy theories that will change your perspective on life.
Nice
The last
visuals.
one is the most shocking. The Big Bounce theory. It states that if the Big Bang occurred from nothing, then there will be no changing fact the next time the universe is created. This means that when our universe ends and another is created, it will be created in the exact same way with the exact same galaxies, planets, and species. If this is true, our entire universe is in an endless cycle of creating and destroying itself, and you will be born into every universe endlessly. You can actually see who blocks you on TikTok. It's the first person that appears when you click share and more. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. Ancestry DNA and the rest of those Ancestry websites are run by the government to have access to people's DNA across reference crimes, etc. The food we have been eating in the United States is a huge part of the mental illness going on today. Like and follow for more interesting yet mind-bending conspiracies.
Here's what he had to say in 1996.
Start by secretly creating a problem in the world and making sure someone else is blamed for it in the public arena, in the public mind. It could be a run on a currency, it could be a government collapse, at its most extreme it could be a war, because the two world wars in this century were funded, all sides were funded by the same people. Provable. The same people that funded the Allies in the Second World War and funded the Soviet Union also funded Hitler. Through loans from America, known as the Young Plan and the Dawes Plan, and also via the German subsidiaries of American multinational companies. Why would they do that? Why would someone want to fund all sides in a war? What is good is a war? Well, first of all, on one level, it makes vast amounts of money if you're lending money to all sides and you're also selling them lots of arms and all that stuff. But the fundamental reason for a war is to change the nature of post-war society. And what we saw in the First World War and the Second World War were massive global examples of problem, reaction, solution.
Yep.
We are looking at a gigantic con trick before our eyes. We don't live in a democracy in this country or in America or in these other places. We live in a one-party state where the same force from the peak of the pyramid string pulls all sides. The creation of a one-world government to which nation-states would be principalities, administrative units, a world central bank which would administer all financial transactions on the planet, a world currency which wouldn't be coins and notes, it would be merely electronic, cashless society for which there are fundamental implications for freedom, as we'll see as we go along tonight.
30 years ago.
A world army under centralized control with nation-state armies dismantled under the justification of seeking peace.
Yep.
And a microchipped population linked to a global computer, the latter of which sounds bizarre to many people on first hearing, except that we are ridiculously close to it and the technology already exists. So World Health Organization says there's going to be a measles epidemic next year. Get vaccinated. Get your children vaccinated. You're a bad parent if you don't. Then the same people that organize that then start flogging out the vaccine and make a fortune out of it. So if we take one element of that under problem, reaction, solution, it's amazing the extent to which we have given our power away, our spiritual power. It's all about taking our power back. Because once we do that, it's all over. In 1991, even in America, a virtually unknown governor for Arkansas called Bill Clinton was invited to the Bilderberg meeting in Baden-Baden, Germany. Within a year, this guy is successfully running for president of the United States. 1993, another relatively unknown Labour Party Home Affairs spokesman in Britain called Tony Blair was invited to the Bilderberg meeting in Greece, along with his opponent, the Conservative Chancellor, Kenneth Clark, by the way. Within a year, Tony Blair is leader of the Labour Party and, barring a miracle, will become Prime Minister of this country.
Here's what he had to say in...
I remember when Obama was running for the first time for president, and it was a complete unknown. I remember this because I was working nighttime at the time. Was it like early thousands, something like that? And he went to Berlin to give a speech. Who the hell was he to give a speech in Berlin before he was even voted into office, before the elections even happened? He was only running for president. I've never seen a president since, and only, what's his name? John Kennedy before speak in Berlin, and John Kennedy was president. So these people are put into power. You think you're voting for them, but they're put into power.
Did you know that there are 3 countries the Bible actually warns us to stay away from? These places are tied to ancient stories of curse and destruction, and today their history still carries a dark legacy. Let's take a look at where the Bible says we should never go. First up is Iraq, home to the ancient city of Babylon. Babylon was known for its immense wealth, power, and arrogance. According to the Bible, the people of Babylon turned away from God and built temples to false gods. It was a city that defied divine principles, and as a result, Babylon was cursed. Next on the list is Jordan, closely tied to the tragic tale of Sodom and Gomorrah. The Bible tells us these cities were destroyed because of their extreme immorality. The towns were consumed by fire and brimstone, and nothing survived. Finally, there's Nineveh, located in modern-day northern Iraq. Nineveh was a powerful and prosperous city, but its people were prideful and ignored the warnings of the prophet Jonah. They refused to change their ways, and the city was eventually destroyed as a result of their disobedience. So, after hearing this, do you think these places are cursed? What's your take on the Bible's warnings? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
The Simpsons predicted your worst nightmare for 2025. Number 1 has already come true. Here's what you need to know. Number 3, a war between the US and China. In one episode, a somber newscaster reports rising tensions and a nuclear threat looming over the 2 superpowers. Today, tensions between the US and China over Taiwan are at a breaking point. Experts warn that even a small misstep could spark something catastrophic. Number 2, a global internet blackout. This time, Springfield plunges into chaos after the internet is taken down by a cyber attack, leaving people helpless and society on the brink of collapse. Experts say this scenario isn't far off. The United Nations recently admitted that with 95% of internet data relying on undersea cables, a massive cyber attack could strike at any moment. Number 1, The Simpsons depicted an economic collapse worse than the Great Depression. In one episode, Mr. Burns is arrested, and his absence causes the power plant to fall apart, leading Springfield to descend into economic chaos. And you know what? It's already starting to feel real. Economists warn there's a 56% chance of a global economic collapse in 2025. So, the real question isn't if it'll happen, it's when. Let's just hope it stays fiction. Follow for more mysterious stories and predictions. The Simpsons.
What do you guys think? Do you think it will happen? We might be on the verge of something here, the way things are going.
Did you know these are the people who knew too much and were silenced? Michael Jackson, 25th of June, 2009. It said that Michael uncovered secrets about a dark network involving high-ranking politicians and minors. The official version states he died from an overdose while trying to sleep that night. But how credible is that explanation? Barnaby Jack, 25th of July, 2013. This famous hacker shocked the world when, during a conference, he demonstrated how some could manipulate pacemakers to cause clean, undetectable deaths. Just days later, Barnaby was found dead in his apartment. A simple coincidence, or was he silenced for what he knew? Daphne Caruana Galizia, 16th of October, 2017. This investigative journalist exposed secrets about the elites and the controversial Panama Papers. Her research placed her in direct conflict with powerful figures. Shortly afterwards, a bomb in her car ended her life. Is it really just a coincidence that all these people met such fates, or did they uncover something they were never meant to know? But what do you think, Comet Silence? If you want me to keep exposing the hidden truth, did you know?
They definitely knew something. Definitely knew something. I don't trust those Hollywood types anymore.
'Cause it's a bittersweet symphony that's life. Trying to make ends meet, you're a slave to money, then you die. I'll take you down the only road I've ever been down.
Wow, 92. Right, okay, alright. Serial killers, yeah? So, a soldier's not a serial killer? How does that work? It's alright if you're defending your country, but it's not alright if you find pleasure in killing someone. Most soldiers find pleasure in killing someone because they go loopy the first couple of days that they're there, especially if they're in war. The Vietnam War, I remember watching a documentary about the Cyprus War, and all these Cypriots in English, they're all sitting there talking about how they killed people, put bombs under people's beds, and they were smiling like they enjoyed everything they'd done. So, I'm sorry, but, you know, you serial killer, humans have got it in them. They have got it in them. Anyway, this is Lawrence with Tango's TikToks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Mention down where you're from, down in the comments. Give us a like, share it, and have an amazing day. Bye.